Welcome to the XtextCasts. When you work on an Xtext project, you need sometimes to customize some parameters. The good way to go is to build a preference page or project property page. In this episode, I will show you how you can do it. Let's start as usual and create a new Xtext project. And let's run immediately the workflow. And now let's write the generator. And we will be generating greetings.txt file like in this example. We iterate through all greetings and then we map each greeting to a string, to a single line, and in this line we say hello and then the name from the greeting, and then we join our lines together and then import classes and we are done. Having done this, we have to find something to customize, and I think this hello word is a good candidate. We can build preference page where we can choose which word to use for the greetings. Implementing preference pages is always contributing to the UI, and this has to be done in the UI plugin. But this UI plugin was generated partially at least, and plugin XML was also generated, and it is already full of extensions. We can modify this plugin XML, and then Xtext would generate plugin gen XML for us. And then in case this plugin gen XML changes, for example if you update Xtext, then you have to merge plugin XML and plugin gen XML manually. And this large file is no fun to merge. So in this case, I recommend to create a new plugin that adds features, adds functionality to the UI. And I name it UI add-ons and just accept defaults. And now we can go to the extension tab and add our preference page. And I look here for preference pages, and my window here is very small. Of course you have here normally much bigger field, and here I choose this wizard or this template, and we write the name for the preference page is texts, so we modify our texts and we call it text preference page and then say finish. And now we can see what we get. We have two extension points with the preference initializer and the page itself, and we have here a new package. This is a preferences package with the constants initializer and the preference page. Now let's do necessary modifications. And first we have to set category. If we don't set category, the property page will appear on the top here. But we have already the top preference page, and in order to place our page under existing property preference page, we have to set category, and this happens to be my DSL, and exactly this. So like our package plus my DSL. And this will give us the necessary effect. Now let's define a constant that we need, greeting text, and we say here greeting text, and the initializer has to be modified as well, so that we set greeting text to hello, And then the property page itself defines multiple editors, and we leave just the string editor and modify it. We use our constant and we say greeting text. We are almost done with our preference page, but in order to use it from the MyDSL plugin, we have to access MyDSL UI preference store from it. But it can happen that MyDSL plugin get executed without UI. And in this case, it will miss the preference store of the UI plugin. So it is a better way to go to store the preferences in the preference store of the non-UI plugin and then access and show it in the UI plugin. In the show notes I will link this blog post that describes this procedure in details. Back to our projects, let's create a new package first. And I'm going to call it preferences, of course. Now let's take two files, constants and initializer, and move it into the new package. And the preference constants I'm going to rename into MyDSL preferences. Now here I can add access a method for our greeting text, and this is going to be public static string get greeting text. And here we need a store, and we can get the store with a simple line, and this is a name of the plugin and actually plugin ID. And in order to get those classes, we have to require a new bundle, and after doing this, organize imports. Now I can access the store and call the get method, passing the key and the default value, empty string, since the default value will be set in the initializer. And the initializer will be using the same or almost same method. Instead of instance store, we take a default store to set default value, and then we get this store and say put MyDSL preferences greeting string default value hello. Now let's go to the generator and use our preference value. And instead of say hello, we say MyDSL preferences get greeting text. Now let's connect our new preference store with the preference page. And first we have to export our new package to the other plugins. In order to do this, we go to plugin XML runtime and add this package to the list of the exported packages. Also, we have to check that our UI plugin actually uses our both extend plugins, and this is not the case. I think dependencies. So we have to add our both MyDSL plugins, UI and MyDSL, and we can also fix this warning. This is a new initializer that we use. It is located in the MyDSL non-UI plugin now. And here also we can fix this error. And also we have to connect the new store. And in order to do this, I have this line copied, and we use exactly the same instance scope with the ID of the non-UI plugin, and this do the trick. One last thing I almost forgotten is to add initializer to the extension. And of course we have also to create a new plugin if we want to modify the plugin XML, but this particular plugin XML non-UI contains only one extension, and this is no big deal to merge in case. So I just add an extension here, and this is going to be runtime preferences, and I have to uncheck show only extension points, so I can choose this one, and I have to add dependency, of course, and then I add initializer and choose my initializer of the preferences. And now we are done. Let's see what we have. In the second Eclipse instance, I created a simple test project with a test my.dsl file. But first let's take a look of our preferences. And here our my.dsl preference page that comes from the extent, and it has several child pages, and among them our text page. And here we can change the greeting text, we can apply it, and we can restore defaults. And let's see how it works. I write here hello Eclipse, bing, save it. And in the source again directory, the greetings.txt file says hi Eclipse. Thank you for watching XtextCasts. Go to the xtextcasts.org to get show notes, discussions and more episodes.